It's been a minute. I am super exhausted today because I had an infusion yesterday. So I'm probably not gonna hang out too late with you guys. To be completely honest, I kind of just want to like get in my bed and watch YouTube or like watch a movie and go back to sleep. I actually just woke up from a nap, but I desperately need to change this bed because it keeps ballooning. I even tried to like prolong it and just change my bag since I wear like a just change the pouch because I wear a two piece, but now the barrier is even peeling up. So it has to go. It cannot stay. So we need to change that. I'm gonna grab my supply bag that I desperately need to fill up. I'm realizing right now that someone took the wipes out of the bathroom. So that's annoying. I probably will have to leave and go get those at some point. That's the only thing about having like sharing a space and like multiple people use multiple things. It's like never bank on it being there after you use it because more than likely it will not. You have to double check. But yeah, how's everyone doing? How was your weekend? Yeah, because last time I talked to you guys it was like right before the weekend. How was your weekend? Everyone had a great weekend. Everyone had a great week. Honestly, I haven't talked to you guys in a minute. I've just been really exhausted. Like my schedule, like life schedule, completely changed. And when I'm a smooth, like if I have to get my day started at 9 a.m., I can work perfectly fine. We're gonna be prepping my bag while I'm talking, by the way. If I don't have to get started until like 9 a.m., then everything is perfectly fine. I feel like more prepared. 9:30 is honestly even better. But when I have to wake up earlier than that, because I don't go to bed super early. Because literally I have classes that don't get out until 10 o'clock. So I don't go to bed super early. And if I have to wake up super early, I don't sleep well because I'm constantly worried about oversleeping. Of course, Brandon, thank you for coming by. These trash bags come with your pouches, so I usually just set that in the sink while I'm changing my bag. That's like the easiest way to work things. We're gonna prep my pouch. So I have everything over here because I haven't refilled it, so I've just been pulling from my like big supply stash. So yeah, we're going to close this because it's just a lot easier to remember to close this from the start. Close this up. It's really hot in my bathroom today. Put some of this lubricating deodorant in it. Again, I think this just helps with the smell. Typically, if I'm not leaving my house much, I'm only putting this in this time, like during the bag change. It'll last for about 2 days if you're not like doing something that's making you go to the bathroom a lot. And then if I am staying like away from home or I'm not at home, sometimes I will put this in my bag even like several times throughout the day. So every time I dump my bag, I'll just put it in through the bottom. But it's kind of like a personal preference. If you hear anything in the background, it's probably my mom. She's on the phone right now, so I may try to talk over her, but in the silent moments, you may still hear her. If you guys hear her, just let me know and I'll tell her to quiet down. But yeah, other than that, it was my spring break. I meant what I said when I told you guys I had no extravagant plans for my spring break. I was just happy for the break. I had a support group last week for teenagers with IBD. This is a little ring. I had a support group last week for teenagers with IBD. That's always linked at in the description of my videos too. If you ever know somebody who is younger and needs support, it's kind of geocoded. So mainly the kids that I talk to are like in the Georgia area, but it's a little bit flexible because there isn't virtual support groups everywhere. I take this little circle piece And I stretched it to be slightly smaller than this hole, and I'll tell you guys why. If you're in here and you're watching, make sure that you like the live. And if you already liked the live and you've already subscribed to my page, make sure that you share. I'm still trying to set up like what's going to be the next follower goal in order for you guys to name my stoma with me, because we didn't hit the 5K before my birthday. I have to like reconfigure things, and like some things have changed over in my account. My schedule has changed, so I've been trying to fit my lives into like the way my life is now, because typically by the afternoons I am dead tired. Like, so this stretching this to be a little bit smaller. So yeah, I had that support group last week, and I co-facilitate that with one of my close friends. But it didn't last the full like hour that it was supposed to last. If this hole right here is a little bit smaller, then you could just take the access and fold it around that bigger hole, and that just helps create like a suction around your stoma and helps like prevent leaks even more. My ostomy nurse taught me this hack, and I do it all the time. And then other than that, I have been doing a lot of planning with Take Steps. Does anybody like know what Take Steps is? Before I go into like the full spiel of explaining it, let me know if you guys know. Then I'll shorten it a little bit. But if not, it's linked, like all my information is linked in the description of this live. Basically, Take Steps is an annual walk for people like me with inflammatory bowel disease. It happens all over the US, and you can create a team, and with your team you do different community things to raise funds, or like you ask people to match your donations, etc., etc. Guys, give me like one second. I need to call my sister to bring me some wipes. Sister, can you bring me some baby wipes, please? I think they're in the small bathroom. Yeah, so that's what Take Steps is, and I have my own team. This is my second year having a team, and this first year that I felt like fully like more healthy. The last year I got surgery like 3 weeks after the walk, so I was still really, really sick. I didn't have the energy to do all the fundraising and all of that, but this year I have been on it. I already have three community events planned. One is an ice cream social that's happening with Jeni's Splendid ice creams. I already put that on my Instagram. That's happening next Wednesday. I'm doing something with Dave's Hot Chicken, which is like a Raising Cane's equivalent. And then the last week of April, so I'm skipping the week of Easter. So the last week of April, I'm doing like a non-alcoholic and non-dairy like wine tasting. So that's going to be cool. There's going to be opportunity like for the actual ones that are hosted by food places. They're going to like take a percentage of the profit and donate it to my team. And then for the tasting event that's happening at the end of the month, it's going to be an opportunity for people to donate there. And if you donate at the event, you're going to be able to win some, thank you, some fancy skincare from this company that I collaborate with very often called Osea. I love their products. They're all over. It's probably like the only beauty brand that I consistently talk about over on my TikTok and post about on my Instagram stories. But they have some amazing products, and all of their products are vegan, cruelty-free, they're clean, and the brand is mother-daughter owned, which I think is super duper cool. We're gonna put my hair back because we're about to get ready to start. If you guys see sweat stains, honestly, it's because it's so hot in my bathroom today. I don't know why. You have the heat on like 8,000 degrees. Do you suggest barrier rings for? I don't know much about the urinostomies, honestly. So I don't really I can't tell you. I would say probably if you're experiencing leaking, then a barrier ring is probably gonna be good. And I know they're really good for ileostomies and colostomies, but I don't know much about urostomies. I'm sorry. Um, as far as like don't eat fast food, I'm technically right now not in an active flare. And when I'm in a flare, it's my like I've never had like traditional IBD where people have trigger foods. I have eating everything hurts and then some things make me hurt even more. So everyone's diet is different. Typically I don't give advice about treatment or symptoms or anything like that unless I'm directly asked because IBD is so different. I have so many close friends with IBD and our lives are completely like different. And even now, since I no longer have my colon rectum anymore, there's a lot that still kind of irritate me, but because it's not sitting in my body for a long time, I don't have to poop it out through my bottom. I have a better tolerance for things. So that's typically my rule of thumb when it comes to just like advice and things like that. But we are going to get ready to take off this ostomy bag. Like I said, I want to chat a long time tonight, but I'm honestly very, very tired. I had my infusion yesterday, and I've had like a banging headache ever since. So if you don't want to see intestines, there could be some poop. Sometimes there's blood around my stoma because it's like vessel heavy, but I am not in pain. Nothing hurts. This was a surgical treatment and the surgery is now healed, so I am fine. But this is sort of like the trigger warning. If you don't want to see any of those things, I perfectly understand. Um, well, that's great. I perfectly understand. I will not hold any grudge. So if you're watching and you've interpreted this trigger warning, like the screen, I just want to make sure that I have like some sort of like open communication between. I have 3 likes right now, and it's about 22 of you guys in here. So just like the screen so I can, make sure that you guys are tuned in with me. Of course, me. Yep, you'll see it in a minute. I just want to make sure that everyone has heard and registers like the warning that I'm giving you guys. I see the likes coming in. Keep going, keep going. I'm going to keep just prepping to take all this back. Typically when I'm cleaning my skin, just so you guys can know, I'm using like some kind of wound cleanser that my doctor has given me. So right now, and my wound care nurse has given me right now, I'm just using this one from Medline. This is not my favorite, but that favorite brand, she hadn't gotten any more shipments of it. So I'm just gonna wait until she gets some more. This one works fine. After it's all clean and like dry, because I'm using baby wipes, I also have to get some more of these soft gauze cotton balls that I love. I use an adhesive remover wipe just to remove any excess product, because if you have like leftover adhesive or any kind of moisturizers that could be in your baby wipes, sometimes your barrier will not stick. So that's a no-no. This just helps make sure. And then sometimes people use these to completely remove their bags too. That's just not my thing. And this is a skin barrier wipe, and this kind of just preps my skin around my stoma for the new one to go on. We already prepped the ostomy bag. This ostomy bag has a lubricating deodorant inside of it that I just squeezed into it. And then we are going to be using an adhesive remover spray to remove the bag. So, just another trigger warning, because there has been some more people to come in. If you don't want to see intestines, poops, insides on the outside, a little bit of red bodily fluids, because my stoma, anybody's small intestine is very vessel heavy and those things rupture, but they do not hurt. I am not in pain. My surgery was a success. I am now healed. Nothing is wrong. So just to register that you're getting this warning and we're on the same page, like the screen. If you already liked, go ahead and just subscribe, because I can see the notification and I know you're hearing me. On my end, because sometimes it's a little delayed, I see about 7 likes. So make sure you're liking it, and I'll know that you hear me and you're on the same page. So let's get into this. Again, this is an adhesive remover wipe. We are just going to, you guys may see me like went to my arm. Nothing is crazy wrong. It's just that I'm always a hard IV stick. And the nurse that I was working with yesterday, he hasn't been on the ultrasound as long as the other person that does it. And my arm is just feeling some residual like stiffness because I think he like hit a nerve. I really got the surgery was assessed. I don't have a stoma, but I think what you're doing is thank you. Where do you order your supplies? I ordered mine from Byram. I bounce back and forth because I have issues. Sometimes it's Byram, and then sometimes it's Edge Park. But for this, Byram doesn't sell anymore, so I have to exclusively get this adhesive remover adhesive remover spray from Edge Park. I'm gonna switch hands because that hand actually does hurt a little bit. But yeah, I've just been super busy. Super busy all week. Oh, it's kind of long today, guys. If anybody has been in my lives before, then you know the sizing changes a little bit. So she's long today. She, he, you guys just hear me use a lot of pronouns because they don't have a name yet. So I was scrunching up a little bit. I remember because I've had like 3 different stomas. So when I was going to like my first couple of checkups for this one, I was like, this one is just really long. It's not like my other ones. It's constantly changing. It's so weird. And I have a video up on my TikTok where we sat and we like watched it to see like how the movement was, and it just moves so much. So I just have like a really active stoma this time around, and sometimes it's funny, but sometimes it can get really concerning. Sometimes I'm just like, what's going on? Can I get rid of this? Some people have what's called a temporary ileostomy, and those people will usually get theirs reversed. Mine is permanent. Does it hurt? No. And just as a general rule of thumb, if there's a question that you're asking and I'm probably not answering, it's probably because sometimes when the live picks up, I've answered a question like a billion times. And usually my mod, which she's in there, you'll see her and she'll come sometimes to answer the question. Just take that as an answer. Take it as an answer. This is a stoma. It's like about an inch of my small intestine pulled on the outside and folded over itself, and it's kind of surgically sutured so that it doesn't move. This isn't hair. Like there's a little bit of hair because I need to shave, but this black line is a surgical scar. Hi guys, how are you guys doing? When you come in, make sure you like the live. Keep liking the live. I usually like to keep my ratio at least 50% of the people in here. I should have about half of the likes. It's usually more, but that's where I like to keep it. If not, I usually kind of just be quiet and do my thing. What is it doing? It's not doing anything right now. But I love your top. Where did I get it? Target. These tank tops, I find them to be perfect for changing my bag, honestly, because I don't have to tuck it under a bra. That's great. I'm glad you guys had a great day. No, poop comes out of this. Have I ever used a protective sheet? I think I could have possibly used it when I had one surgery where they had to, this surgical scar right here has been cut open a lot. That's why it's so dark and kind of wide. But I had one time where it wouldn't heal properly, and we used a lot of different wound care things to like try to like help it heal, but also it was causing my ostomy barriers to pull up because that wound kept getting like wet. So I think I have. Why do I have that? Because I have Crohn's disease. It's a type of inflammatory bowel disease that impacts your GI tract. So like your poo-poo functions, nothing to do with pee, everything to do with pee works perfectly normal. But my colon was severely inflamed and my rectum, so those things had to come out, and I got my butthole sewn up and I got this stoma placed. Does it move around on its own? It like scrunches up and like releases. So like that's the way your intestines kind of move like a caterpillar anyways, to like move things through it. And it happens internally, so you don't see it, and sometimes you don't feel it unless something is off. So that's what's just happening on the outside. There's a lot of people that get pregnant with ostomies. It's perfectly fine. Sometimes you can have like some internal pulling because of like the fetus. I don't want to have kids though. I don't like kids, so it's not really a specialty of mine. But there's a lot of people online with ostomies. Why is it red? It's kind of reddish pink. So my pants are red. This is more like a pink, and this because it's your intestines. Your intestines should be pink. Hi, Holy Mindset TV. You're back. Yeah, see, my mod is answering like my backstory questions. But yeah, I do this mainly to raise awareness. I think changing your ostomy is like one of the easiest ways to show how it functions and like show that it's not such like this weird taboo thing. Hi, does it grow? Not really. It kind of just like, yeah, I don't like kids. I like my siblings, and that's pretty much it. No, it doesn't grow. It kind of just like contracts and expands, but it's the same piece of intestine. Does that make sense? Like if I do my fist like this or like this, it takes up different space, but it's still my hand and still my fingers. No, I'm not Gandu. Does it hurt? No. Your stoma actually has no nerve endings, so you don't feel it. But if you want to know how it feels like the inside of your cheek. It's like that same kind of texture. Let me see what this is. Yes, Brandon, I think I have during like a wound healing process. I typically don't have too many problems with my bags though, especially after like my wound heals up. So like this is completely healed now. So the only issue I have is typically because my torso is so small. When this wound is healing, it's really difficult for my ostomy barrier. And I already have the smallest size ostomy barrier without going to kid sizing. I'm 22. Why is it so long? It's just the way mine is. Stomas look different. A lot of times your ileostomy will be smaller, and people that have colostomies, that's typically on the left side, and those are bigger. I've had 6 surgeries since 2022. No, it doesn't hurt. This doesn't have any nerve endings, so I don't feel anything. Cool. I just turned 22. I have not, what's today? Yeah, I haven't been 22 for a month. This is called an ileostomy. The disease I have is called Crohn's disease. No, I don't feel embarrassed if that's what you're asking. But yeah, we're gonna use this ostomy. No, I change my bag every 3 to 4 days, Sunny. This is an ileostomy, Kaylee. I waited a little too long to change this one actually. You guys probably can't see it on the camera, but there's a little bit of irritation. And the best way I can describe this is if you have a diaper on a baby and you leave the diaper on too long, typically the baby will get a diaper rash because that there's chemicals in your stool, and if it's just on your skin too long, it's going to irritate your skin. And the same thing can happen with your ostomy bag. I'll show you guys the older bag. Like I said, I've been busy and then I had an infusion, so I was tired. But this is how the old bag looked. So as you can see, it was gonna leak probably like tomorrow if I didn't change it, because it's your intestines. That's why it's red. Everybody's intestines are red. It's not really big, guys. This is probably barely like an inch in diameter, to be honest. I have Crohn's disease. That's why I have it. Yes, I can, Danny. Hi. I poop into a bag. That's what this is for. My colon and my rectum were severely inflamed due to Crohn's disease. It's an autoimmune disease, so they don't really know why it happens, and there's no cure. And for some cases like mine, the medications that were on the market at the time, I tried a bunch of them, they didn't work for me, and it was almost like get surgery or you're going to spend like a lot of time in the hospital, or I would have been on like IV nutrition. So like feeding tubes and like adjacent like that in order to get the nutrition my body needed. I change my bag every 2 to 4 days. Yes, I do fart from this. I do fart from this. Actually, Lily, I just put a video up on my TikTok where I'm explaining like farting. But farting just comes out of this. Thank you, Mushroom. Does it hurt when they put it in? Yes, the surgery hurts. It's surgery. Sometimes around it can sting. If stool sits on too long, but the actual stoma, no, there's no nerve endings in this. I hope your sister is doing well. Jasmine, are you talking about like putting a bidet in it and like rinsing it out that way? I think that would be too much. No, it's not painful. Does it hurt when I poop? No. You guys can't hear it, but I can feel it. I'm farting now. Thank you. It cannot get infected easily, especially after you're healed from surgery. There's no red stuff coming out. There could, like I explained this before, but your intestines are really vessel heavy. So sometimes if you're like wiping and moving it around, you can start to like bleed a little bit, but it doesn't hurt and it's not alarming. Yes, it's my small intestines. It's an ileostomy. She used tap water. I've never seen it before. I just feel like that'd be a lot. I typically don't have too much like build up around it. The cleaning process is usually not that long for me. I usually just leave it uncovered when I'm changing my bag on live because I like for the skin around it to get some air because I don't shower bagless. These bags are water resistant, but they're not waterproof, so you can still like swim and take a shower with them on. I just don't take mine off unless I'm changing it. But make sure you guys continue to like the live. I should have at least 50% of the viewers in here. So it's like at 150, I should have at least half the amount of likes. I love answering questions and educating people about ostomies, but I need to make sure you guys are still here with me. So there's 35 on my end. I'm gonna check in a little bit. And if it's not where it needs to be, I may have to wrap up the live a little bit early, but I'll give you guys a second. I'll give it some time to update on my end. Yes, I can still get my period. I can lay on my stomach. No, it doesn't hurt. Bro, what surgery have you done? I've done a lot of different surgeries. It's hard to explain, but the videos are up on my page. How old was I when I got diagnosed? I was definitely having symptoms when I was like 16, but I was officially diagnosed at 17. Why do I need a towel? Because it poos on its own. So I don't want the poo to like get on my clothes. How old were you when I got that thing? When I got my first stoma, that's the proper word, stoma, S-T-O-M-A. I was 18. I want to say, no, 18. Yeah, 18 turning 19, I believe. Thank you. It's an ileostomy. I wear a bag. So if I poop in my sleep, I just poop in my sleep. If the bag fills up in my sleep, it's this weird thing that your body does, but everybody with an ostomy could probably attest to this. There's like a pressure that happens when the bag fills up, like you feel the air, and typically it wakes you up. So I don't have a whole lot of like spillage. Can I get a reversal? No, mine is permanent. I got my butthole sewn up, so no reversing this unless it's some magical thing. Yeah, keep liking, guys, because if I don't see about half of the people in here, I'm gonna wrap it up. We're at 130. We're not even at 100 likes yet. How does a stoma work? Okay, I can explain this, right? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be fair. I'm gonna explain how a stoma works. And then by the time I'm done, if I don't have at least half the amount of viewers to likes, so there's a 217, I should have at least half those likes. If I don't have that, we're going to wrap it up. Okay, so your stoma is a little piece of your small intestine pulled through your abdominal wall, right? They make a little hole, they pull the intestine through. Your stoma works just like your small intestines work inside of you because it's literally the same organ. From your stomach, the food moves down and it's digested. Your small intestines are primarily important for taking the nutrients out of your food. And your large intestine, which is also called your colon, that dehydrates the poop, and that's a big part of how you stay hydrated after you drink liquids and electrolytes and things like that. So it just travels through me normally, goes through my small intestine, and because my small intestine has now been diverted through my abdominal wall, the poop comes out of this and just directly down into this bag, like a little spout. That's a little spout. And my stool is usually very loose. The thickest it will ever get, it's like a mashed potato consistency sometimes, if I'm having hydration issues. But your colon is responsible for giving you turds. And since I no longer have a colon, I will probably never, ever, ever, ever have turds. No, it doesn't hurt. Yes, I still have my period. Yes, so my organ is outside of my body. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I do get tired of explaining it over and over again. I do. Yes, it's my small intestines. Yes, thank you. How do I get my bags? I order them from a company. Of course, Barbara, I'm sorry. Yes, I can play sports. Don't be sorry. I'm not sorry. Why do I need a bag? Because if I didn't have a bag on, then my stomach would just poop everywhere. And I would have nothing to catch the poop. Yeah, it was one of the more, I always tell people the worst surgeries for me was the first one, which was getting my colon removed. Getting my rectum removed, actually, that was my second surgery, and that I was kind of okay with that. But my first surgery, and then the last surgery that I just had last May, which was getting my butthole sewn up, that was painful. Matter of fact, I'm coming up on a year of that surgery, and I still, like, if I have to sit on like really hard surfaces, if I have to sit down for too long, I can still get sore on my butt. Can it hurt when I fall? I wouldn't really feel it, but I've never. There's. I'll probably say it just depends on how I fall, what I fall into. Probably a lot of different variables because you can get hernias and things like that. Um, I've had 6 surgeries since 2022. Guys like her, she will end it. Yeah. Charles kinds of feels it. I told you guys I like to have at least half the likes. So we're at 83 on my end, and there's 201 people in there. I hate math, but I can do basic math. And that's not half. So I'm about to wrap this up. So I'll give y'all some time actually to get the likes up. I'm gonna pause on answering questions. I see the questions, and you guys are asking some really good questions. But see, 91. Okay, that's better. That's better. 95. That's better. I'll answer this because I've already answered this. Yes, I can have kids. I just don't like kids, so I will not be having kids. That's great that you have a question, Vince, but we got to get the likes up. Definitely more than 33 people. What happened from the beginning? Okay, so some nights I go into when I tell my full medical story, I'm going to tell you right now, I am so sorry, but that is not happening tonight. I had an infusion yesterday, and I am tired. I took a nap. I was like, I can't leave you guys hanging because I haven't gone live for a long time. But I just woke up from a nap. And yeah, infusions, I'm usually fatigued for like a few days before I get my energy back. If you guys have been on my lives before, you could probably see that I'm tired. But I can't give you guys the full medical story tonight. But you can either one, go back and watch my other lives, or two, my medical story is up on my page. There's a part one, part two, and then one a few months later after my last surgery. Is Crohn's disease rare? No. No. Now, there's two types of inflammatory bowel diseases. There's ulcerative colitis, which primarily just impacts your colon. You can have extraintestinal manifestations, but it primarily just targets your colon. And then you have Crohn's disease, which impacts your entire GI tract from your mouth all the way through your throat, your esophagus, your intestines, and down, right? I have a special type of Crohn's called Crohn's colitis, so that means it primarily manifested in my colon, but there was other factors that pushed it over to the side of Crohn's more. So yeah, do I have to take antibiotics? No. Can I pass it down to my kids? So it really just depends. It varies. There is studies now showing that if you have Crohn's disease, you're more likely to pass Crohn's disease down than passing ulcerative colitis down. But me, myself, I think there's only like a 3 to 5% chance, like with my genetics alone, that I actually pass that down. But it also depends on your partner's genetics too, you know? And there is like a cluster of autoimmune diseases that kind of have the same biological markers. Like Crohn's disease, I think one of them is rheumatoid arthritis. That's why a lot of the medications could treat both. So sometimes your child may not get Crohn's, but they can get something else that's in that family of autoimmune diseases. So it's actually really interesting. The easy answer is no. It's not super easy to pass it down, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. Can I lay down on it? Yes, but typically I have a bag and I fart a lot. I'm really gassy, and we've tried different things to like control the gas, but usually it just makes me uncomfortable, so I just kind of deal with it. And usually sometimes laying down flat means I'm laying on my bag, which really isn't comfortable. Does anybody in your family has it too? So my mom was just diagnosed with Crohn's like a year ago. Can I explain what happened again? Yeah, so I have Crohn's disease. It's a type of autoimmune disease it's a part of a family of diseases called inflammatory bowel disease. And the most common ones are ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease is inflammation in your entire GI tract. For me, my colon was entirely inflamed and my rectum was inflamed, and I was on several different medications. I think I tried over like 6 treatments, including like really, really strong medications that were like frying my like cognitive abilities. Those things didn't work, so I decided to undergo surgery to get those things taken out. At first, I went through a J-pouch surgery, but the J-pouch didn't work, which determined that I had Crohn's disease. So now I have a permanent ileostomy, which is what this whole entire thing is called. And my butthole is sewn up, so I no longer have a butthole. So basically, on top of like my infusion this week, I was explaining to the people that were on my live at first that I have been doing so much stuff with Take Steps. I used the wrong wipe, so we're not going to use adhesive remover wipe tonight. But I've been doing so much stuff with Take Steps. No, it's not blood on my stomach. No, it doesn't hurt. And if you guys don't follow me like on my other socials, like first of all, you should, but I also launched my official like team shirt for Take Steps. I was going to show it in the other live that I was on last week, but we didn't get to the like amount. We didn't get to the like goal, so I wasn't able to show you guys the shirts. But they're super limited. They're super cute, but they're limited because I'm working with small businesses to print them. So independent artists did the design for it, and then a small woman-owned business is doing the printing for them. And all of the profit after covering the production costs are going to be given straight to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. And that's the foundation. See, it's pooping. That's the foundation that leads a lot of advocacy, education, research in general for people with inflammatory bowel disease. I think it's definitely the biggest organization in the United States that does it, and I volunteer really heavily with them, and I was their IBD patient reporter at the Crohn's and Colitis Congress this past February in San Francisco. So those videos are like all over my Instagram and things like that. It's poop coming out. It's poop. Yes, I can get my period. Yes, I'm okay. Is it hard to eat carbs? It's harder to eat fiber. Carbs are fine. Carbs usually perfect. Because sometimes, depending on the carb, can make me kind of gassy. But typically, those are perfect. It is the fiber that is questionable. Yeah, I'm fine. Do you use Mac? No, I can't take it out. No, it doesn't hurt. Hi, can I poop anytime? Yes. I don't control, no one controls the way poop moves through their small intestines, so. Let me. Can I go into details about how to use the barrier ring? Sure, I'll do it before I put on this bag actually. So it's really simple. I just take it out the package and I stretch it to be a little bit smaller than my barrier hole. My barriers are pre-cut and I think they're about 1 inch right now. So I just stretch it to be a little bit smaller than the actual hole on my barrier. And then I just fold it underneath. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but I kind of fold it underneath so that it creates a better barrier between my skin. And then this helps if I poop and it kind of gets on the barrier. If I fold it inside, it doesn't go in between the barrier and the ring. No, it was kind of sewn up and then it healed together. The way skin does, like when you get stitches, they sew the skin together so that it heals together. Yes, it's my small intestine. I need a bag to navigate life. If not, I would have poo everywhere all the time. No, it doesn't hurt to shower or swim. Do I fart into my bag? Yes. All right, I'm about to put the new bag on. It happens randomly. I don't know when I'm pooping usually. Does it smell? It smells when it's like inside the bag. For some reason, when I change my bag, the smell of the poop is not really that pungent. Could I possibly get an organ transplant? No. No, because the way autoimmune diseases work is typically it's my body. So even if I put a new organ in there, it would still do the same thing. Does that make sense? It's not like I was having colon failure. I think that's a thing. No, it doesn't hurt. No, it doesn't hurt when I touch it. Hi. Can I tell the story? Sorry. No, I can't. But I'll say this. I'm going to be doing a lot of cool things with Take Steps and all of that stuff. All of it's linked in the description of this video, but I highly recommend that if you enjoyed any little bit of our conversation tonight, no, I can't get rid of it. If you enjoyed any little bit of our conversation tonight, to join my Take Steps team. It's linked in the description of this video. And it's going to be cool giveaways for people that are able to donate. All of that money is going straight to the Crohn and Colitis Foundation, and it helps patients like me, or honestly sometimes they're in worse conditions than me, because I think I'm in a really good position to be able to educate and talk about and spread awareness. And a lot of people are not in this situation. And a lot of people don't want to go through surgery and have an ostomy. So it's a lot of different things. And I think the foundation is super, super cool. I have met a lot of the people that run the organization, and they're really passionate about what they do. So that makes me passionate about helping them. And my goal this year is to raise 5K, which may seem like a lot, but we can do it, because last year I did nearly half of that without really even talking about it. I really just only kind of posted about it on my socials and kind of like let it go into the atmosphere. So even if you only have $5, that money, I told you guys I was able to go to the Crohn's and Colitis Congress in February, and to see all the different research that they're putting in place, from different like monitoring devices that you can wear that are like non-invasive, because I'm not sure if anybody is in the chat has had a colonoscopy. Those things can get kind of rough between the prep and then being on anesthesia and then just feeling sore afterwards. So they're currently like building non-invasive technologies for monitoring, new medications for different patients that target different areas that don't make you feel super fatigued afterwards. Like, so many just really, really cool things. More support groups, more therapies for like the mental health support option. The mental health areas of inflammatory bowel disease. And then definitely working on looking more into things like diet and how that contributes to your disease, or treating the disease earlier on so that you don't get to the point where you need surgery, or taking out a little piece of your intestine, because you can take out little pieces of your colon and just kind of connect it together. So taking out little pieces that help you heal faster than just trying to heal a piece of intestine that is like really, really inflamed. So I've used medical adhesive. I typically don't need it. It's a little bit too strong for me, but I have used Tenaces. I have it. They sent me some. Yep, that's my Take Steps information right there. And you guys can, I think I've seen her work. I think I've seen her on TikTok or Instagram, Adam. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you. I appreciate that. I got diagnosed in May of 2020. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's basically going to be my whole entire month of April. I'm going to be doing a lot of things for Take Steps, working with the foundation a lot, just to get like our donations in, because that just helps. For people that don't know, the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is a nonprofit, so it's primarily ran on donations and volunteering. Is it scary sometimes? Being sick is very scary when you have something like inflammatory bowel disease. And I will say, even when I was diagnosed, there was less support. There was less support groups, less people online talking about the illness, and it's directly through things like independent content creators like me getting on and sharing their stories, or connecting with organizations like the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation that has support groups, and like networks of doctors and things like that you can just get in contact with, has been really, really helpful. And I know it continues to help people. How old am I? I'm 22. It's always here. Sometimes it like constricts and stretches, but it's like the same piece of intestine, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's always there. It doesn't like retract inside of my body or anything like that. But yeah, those t-shirts, again, I didn't get to show them last live. Maybe I'll ask my mod, I'll give her a second to answer if I should show them this live, because I have one that I can show. I don't know if you guys want to see them. Do you guys want to see the Take Step shirts? I should probably ask that first. Let me know if you guys want to see it. No, it doesn't hurt, Nicole. It doesn't hurt. Yes. Okay, I see one yes. This is an ostomy bag. 2 yeses. 3. Sure, I should. Okay. I'm gonna have to grab it. I'll call my sister again. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay, I'll show. I hear you. I hear you. Sister! Sister! Please. Hold up. I'm gonna have to get it myself. That's ugly. Oh, that's unfortunate. It depends. Are you asking, was I born with Crohn's disease or was I born with a stoma? Because those are two different questions. I got it. Yeah, I'm fine. So this is the shirt, guys. For the new people, okay, I'm gonna give you guys a little like goal. We're gonna keep doing this. So it's 130 of you guys in here. There's 115 likes. So can we get it to like as close to 130? And I'll answer Liv's question. Yeah, before I answer Liv's question, the hate comments really don't get to me because I was quite frank, it was like ostomy or not be here or have a really poor quality of life. So I know I wake up every day knowing that my ostomy saved my life and allows me to be a rock star. So yeah, I don't really care what the people say. Do I get to pick where I want it to be? Liv, I'm going to answer your question. So if I forget, just ask it again. I promise. Did I get to pick? So we'll set the shirt down for a second and I'll answer this question. Yes and no. Because I was like, I'm still pretty small, but I was smaller. I was like under 115 pounds when I got my first surgery. Like I was tiny. Since I didn't have any rolls, I could get my ostomy kind of anywhere. And you usually, a sign of being healthy after a surgery or after treatment with inflammatory bowel disease is if you usually start gaining weight, because that typically means that you're able to eat more, right? So they have you like bend and do things like that so that they don't place the stoma somewhere where like you naturally kind of crease. But I had the option of getting a high stoma or a low stoma. With the high stoma, I think I think I have a low stoma because I can wear high waist pants. If you have a high stoma, then like it's usually a kind of weird with high waist pants a little bit. No, mine is permanent. Yeah, poop goes into this. I have one stoma. No, I was not born with the stoma. So your stoma has to be surgically placed. You can't just manifest one. A colorectal surgeon does it, and mine is amazing. And I was not born with Crohn's disease either. I wasn't diagnosed with Crohn's disease until I was 17, and I wasn't having symptoms like definitively until I was like 15, 16. So you have to have an inflammatory bowel disease diagnosis, and typically you go through surgeries if medications aren't working for you. So it's not really a set criteria because IBD can manifest differently in so many different people, but that's typically like the rule of thumb. I'm 22. No, it just I won't say magically. I'm not gonna be sarcastic. Your poop kind of naturally moves from your stomach to your small intestine. It's like the way your body contracts and moves the food in your intestines. And the same thing happens with me. It just, because my small intestine has been diverted through my abdominal wall, the poop just comes out of the small intestine and directly into the bag, like a little spout. You don't have to be sorry for me. I'm not sorry for me. Hi. It's just a normal day thing. Sometimes if I'm not at home, it can be kind of tedious because I know I'm on a set amount of like pouching, and one of my first trips away from home after I had like my permanent surgery, I was like with my friends in DC, and I only bought 3 pouches. And somehow I just had things going on that kept having, I had to change my, I used every single pouch and I was on my last pouch. Like, this one cannot have issues. And I could have just been moving really quickly and just not really like getting like a secure bag change. But yeah, I just kept having issues. But it's like a normal part of my day. I wake up, I dump my bag. I dump my bag before I go to sleep. My period works naturally, fine. I have Crohn's disease. But yeah, these bags stick. I should have used my adhesive right. Thank you. Of course. You have the ability to do that, Violet. It's not my light just went out. Sorry guys, it went dead. You have the ability to do that, but that's not recommended because you don't, no, you don't stick things. No. No. Things should only come out. You shouldn't, only person that should probably do that is if you're getting like a test. Sometimes you can get like different scopes and things and they will stick something directly up your stoma, but you don't do any of that. Does the bag come off? I take it off. If I leave it on too long, then it could like leak on the side a little bit, but I would have to leave it on like over 5 days kind of for my bag to like even be at risk of leaking. Yes, I pee normally. Of course. No problem. No, it doesn't hurt. My stoma doesn't have any nerve endings. How often do I change it? Every 2 to like 4 days. Of course, you're welcome. All right, we're gonna. Does it what? Wait, is it a big change? Was it a big change? Yeah, absolutely. It's something that's really different. It's typically not socially embraced. So there is a difference. There's a clear difference. You're not using your bottom anymore. Yeah. Have I ever used paste? It's messy. I have, but I don't like it. My insurance pays for the bags, but typically, yes, if you don't have like insurance or you have different insurances that don't cover the full supplies, then yes, you have to pay for the bag. Are there different colors? 1 second, I need to stretch my bag. So there's different color bag covers. I work with a couple of different like ostomy bag companies that are super cool. One of them is Spoonie Threads. They're always linked in the description of my videos. And then now Coloplast has a black bag, but it's only a 1-piece bag. And I don't wear a 1-piece system, I wear a 2-piece system. That means my barrier disconnects from my pouch. I'm too gassy to wear 1-piece bags. I will constantly be like dumping it, which is not cool. So they're working on a 2-piece bag, I know for sure, but I don't know when it's gonna be out yet. But they have that in black. Thank you. Does it leak when I change it? No. What hairstyle do I have? I have locks, but I typically tie it up when I'm changing my bag because I don't want it to get in my face. But I have locks and then they're 2-strand twists. Nope, Adam. Isn't inconvenient sometimes, but it's a lot better than being in constant pain. Do you cha? I don't know. Of course. No, I pee normally. Thank you. I shower with my bag on. This bag is water resistant. Okay. Now, back to what I was about to do. Do you guys still want to see the team shirt? Let me know. That'll probably be the last thing that I do. Yeah, you can change. I mean, you can choose the type of bag that you wear. No, it doesn't hurt. Yes. Okay. So, I'll show you guys. It's 143. I like those numbers. Keep liking the live, but I like these numbers. I appreciate we're on the same type of time. I like that. Who does my locks? It's somebody named Deja. She's always linked on my socials after I get my hair done. But here is, oops. You could tell I was taking pictures in this yesterday. Don't judge. But this is my shirt. It says chronically, it may be backwards for you guys. I don't know. But it says chronically the illest, and it's my ostomy pouch, and then like your intestines, and they're holding hands. And it has my Instagram handle at the bottom. But I think it is so cute. I think it's adorable. For anybody that doesn't know, purple is like the awareness color for inflammatory bowel disease. The link to the shirts are in the description of this video. Well, there you go. My mod just dropped it. That's the link to the shirt. For people that are in Virginia and they plan on coming out to the Take Steps walk, if you want your shirt before Take Steps, you have to order by April 11th. If you don't order by that, we cannot guarantee that the shirt is going to get to you before that. Oh, thank you. And I'm dropping this dope video this weekend, this promo video for the shirt. And I anticipate that it's going to do well, but I don't know. But in that case, then the orders are going to be capped at 50 for orders pre-Take Steps. So Take Steps is happening on May 4th. And if it gets to 50 orders before that, then you're going to have to wait until after May 4th to get your shirt, because those ones are going to be priority. But yeah, the design is completely custom. Chronically the Illest is kind of like my thing. I have a media club called Chronically the Illest, where it's like a media club set up for spoonies. So it's like slower paced. Sometimes we skip months, and I have months where I'm just too busy or I don't have the capacity to group read. And so, yeah, I just love it. The shirts range, it just depends on your sizing. So I think, I forget. I want to say they're around 35. It depends on, my mod just dropped the link, but the link is also in the description of this video. All of the proceeds after covering the production costs are going straight to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation via my Take Steps team. So I know. We got the prices down as low as we possibly could, but let me break down the price for you guys a little bit. So this isn't a Gildan shirt. We're not pressing this on a rinky-dinky Gildan shirt that's gonna fade. I know you guys have gotten t-shirts where the design cracks up, the shirt shrinks. That's not happening with these. This is a comfort color shirt. These are pre-shrunken, so they shouldn't shrink unless you like dry it on a crazy heat. Then they shouldn't shrink too much after the wash. You can order them true to size. And like I said, I'm being ethical. I could have gotten my design AI printed and had some big corporation print my shirts, but I worked with an independent artist who custom did this design. By the way, I gave her my ostomy bag, like pictures of my ostomy bag, as a yeah, you can wear it with or without a stoma. My family is gonna have shirts, and nobody in my family has a stoma, so they used my bag as a reference. We worked on the colors. Fun fact, the characters have brown shoes because of poop. It's not green, it's gray. It probably just looks that way because my light turned off. So my extra light that I use when I go live turned off. But yeah, the backs are just plain because and then honestly, I don't know if anybody on here has, it's okay. It's completely fine. If anybody has experience with like t-shirt printing, but once you start getting over 3 colors in your t-shirt designs, typically those prices go up. Like they go up a lot, but this design has like 2, 3, 4, at least 7 different colors in it. And that's super, super cool. But like I said, I tried to softly give them to like my followers and people that watch my lives first, because I'm going to have videos going up on the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation's page, and like some other organizations that I'm working with. I'm going to be like wearing the shirt, and I anticipate that we may hit that 50 max, especially I have flyers going up in my neighborhood and things throughout the week. So I just wanted to get the people that support me directly the opportunity to get the shirts before the crowd. But I've been working on this design for a really, really long time. I know a lot of people say that when that my mod just dropped the pricing. So the pricing does go up for bigger sizes, unfortunately. Again, this is just the nature of working with small businesses. But yeah, I'm working on this design for a very, very long time, and it's so cool to be able to like hold the shirt and wear the shirt. And when I get like your orders, they come in, it's so sweet. And if you are a local, or you know anybody that is local to Virginia, on my website there's an option for event day pickup. So I understand that sometimes I'm a full-time, yeah, exactly. I'm a full-time college student. I understand being broke. I understand it. I know how much it is to like see something online and you only have enough for the item. You need to click in-store pickup so that you don't have to pay for the shipping. I get it. So there's an option on my website for, it's an ileostomy bag. So an ileostomy bag is with your small intestine. A colostomy bag is with your colon. So I have an ileostomy because I don't have a colon. Just answering that. But yeah, so there's an option on my website for a day of event pickup. And I tried to do that to kind of curb some of the cost for like shipping and things like that. But yeah, super, super cool. There's going to be some videos going up on my page this weekend, like as a promo. So I highly encourage you to watch, to follow my Instagram and TikTok. Typically, I do eventually post it on shorts, but shorts just work a little differently. The formatting sometimes can be kind of weird. So they don't always go up on here as soon as they go up everywhere else. But yeah, that's super excited that you guys got to see that. I'm glad you guys like it. Do we have any last questions before I skedaddle? I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. No, you're fine. You're perfectly fine. You don't have to apologize. I hope you're doing well now. That is fine. You do not have to explain. That's why also for me, there is a lot of different like this. I am fully aware of how like not foundations, but fundraisers and things could be inaccessible. That's why we when I set up like my team and things, I don't have a minimum amount that you can donate to my team. My team is linked in the description of this live too, by the way. There isn't a minimum amount. There's different options for support. It's more accessible if you're local to the Richmond, Virginia area, because those are where the events are. But we're doing an ice cream social the first week of April. The second week, we're doing a collaboration with Dave's Hot Chicken. I'm taking the Easter week off because I figured that it'll probably be a low turnout anyways if I'm not doing something that's surrounding Easter festivities. And the last week of April, we're doing a non-alcoholic and non-dairy like wine tasting party at this small business. So I'm working with a lot of small businesses or businesses that have customizable menu options. So for the ice cream social, the signature like feature flavor pairing are going to be 2 non-dairy flavors, because a lot of people with inflammatory bowel disease, or people in general nowadays honestly, have dairy intolerances. So just trying to be accessible as possible. How come I shower with my bag on? I was told to do it without. So I think it's just up to personal preference. It could have been depending on maybe the type of ostomy bag you were using. I don't know, but you can shower with your bag on. I've taken baths with my bag on. Yeah, I just changed my bag. I don't have a whole lot of leaking, so when it's time for me to change my bag every like 2 to 4 days, I just change it. I dump my bag. I don't really have any issues with any like sticky stool because I use a lubricating deodorant. No, I appreciate it, Nicole. Thank you. I'm sorry, I just zoned out. I was reading a comment, but then the thought just. Thank you. Yeah, Lastama. Yeah, if you have issues with your bag, there could. Yeah. Personally, I'll be so honest with you though, I don't like chores and cleaning up, and I know that with taking a bagless shower, I would probably poop in the tub, and then I would have to clean the tub, and I don't want to do all of that personally. So, yeah, that's just me. Any last questions? I'm about to wrap this up, y'all. Thank y'all so much for sticking around with me. The replay is going to be up probably. I'll give myself 24 hours because, like I said, I am actually very tired from my infusion yesterday. So that's gonna be up. I highly recommend it if you have any other questions going through and watching some of my videos because I typically have pretty thick videos. I try to answer all the questions that I get. There's gonna be cool stuff going up about Take Steps probably for the rest of April. So I highly recommend that if you want a t-shirt and you have the ability to get a t-shirt, do that. Because once I start posting and putting up stuff in my city, then it's gonna be gone. Yeah, my personal Venmo is right there. You guys want to support your girl. There's always also the option to like do super chats and stuff in the YouTube world, but that goes directly to me. I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you so much for the compliments. I really appreciate it. You guys are so cool. Um, is there anything else that I wanted to say? I don't think so. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, probably weekend. Depending on how I feel, I may try to come back before the beginning of the week, but if not, probably before Wednesday of next week. I don't know. It just depends. I've been really tired. I'm really busy. Like I said, I do all of this, but I'm also a student, so I have homework and class and stuff. So things get kind of busy sometimes. I'm hoping that as the end of the semester comes along, things kind of die down. But make sure you guys subscribe and you have on my notification bell because then you'll know when I go live again. And you guys won't miss it and we can chat longer because I know some people came in later on and you guys didn't get to see the beginning. But I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure you guys stay safe, listen to your body, drink water, be kind to yourself. You're doing the best that you can, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.